Righty ho. Right, so this is actually the last week of April. So I'll make this the last one on this particular project. So next month is actually a 5-week month, so that'd be £60. But if anybody's missed any sessions, I can carry those over into next month. So those people I'll kind of get in touch with me. Well, so I'll do a little bit of a demonstration in a minute, just finishing. So last week I did a little bit on that one. So this is basically underpainting at the moment. But I thought I'd also talk about next month's project. The project I had in mind for next month is really something inspired by the Masters. So it could be like a copy of one of these sort of old Masters or modern Masters, whichever you're interested in, or some sort of inspiration from one of them. So it might be maybe painting in the style of somebody else, something like that. So that's the thing that I kind of dreamt up. I thought that'd be quite a nice, interesting one to work with. I've got this collection here. Well, I've got 3 folders here, and these are well, 1 or 2 pictures I've just photographed myself, but some are kind of like a sort of educational worksheet. So they've got pictures and then a bit of information on the back. So if you wanted to have a look at any of these, use any of these, you're very welcome to, but I've only got the one set, so if 2 people wanted the same image, I need to sort of do a copy. So if any of you wanted to look at any of these before next week, and you found an image you're interested in, I've got some sticky notes here. If you just put your name on it, and then I'll know who's interested in what, and then if I need to make copies, I'll do it. But if I don't, you can just borrow these a bit. Is that okay? If you've got anything, of your own you'd like to work from, or any particular paintings that inspire you, or artists that you're particularly interested in, it's a nice opportunity to just explore something else, really. Just to see what else is there. It's very much, when I was at Acrylics, this was sort of part of the way that I was showing or taught how to paint. Was we did go to galleries and we looked at artworks and did quite a bit of sketching, did a little bit of copying here and there. Maybe not whole paintings, but maybe small sections, things like that. So it was a great way to learn. Okay, so that's the thing for next month, if you want to do that. If you prefer to just do your own projects, that's absolutely fine, and I'll come around and support you on that.
I know not anything that
Sorry?
I have done. I haven't been to a gallery for donkeys.
Yeah. I mean, there's obviously going to galleries, going up London, or local.
I suppose.
Sorry?
That's oil paint, so a constable can't really do that with watercolours.
Turner did watercolours. Did a bit of Turner.
Yeah.
Constable was more oils. Yeah. Just, the other thing is just browse the internet, really, just have a look. There's quite a lot of sites. If you just do like an image search, like the Google image search, just put, that sort of thing, or just libraries, things like that. But I'll bring a few books or a few other images if you want to look for any.
There's that castle that everyone's painted, Lindisfarne.
Sorry?
That castle that everyone's painted, Lindisfarne.
Oh, right. I don't know if there are any. Yeah, there might be some masters painted about that. Yeah, anyway, that's the one for next week. So, yeah, last week I did a little bit on this. I was thinking to do a bit more, but I think I'll just start something else today, or just show a few other things. That I thought today what I'd do is maybe a little bit of blossom and a little bit of bluebells. So I'll do a little demonstration of that, just basically from the point of view that I've noticed 1 or 2 people painting those sort of subjects and struggling a little bit. So I thought, well, I'll just do a little bit of those. But this is really what I would call a painting. So basically using, not sure I've done it. Yeah, that was the photo I used. And really it's just getting a little bit of colour everywhere. And then, at backstage, I could just add a little bit more detail and leave it slightly abstracty. Or I could go in even, with small brushes and get some more details coming up and just kind of work over the whole surface again. But I like to work in this way, where I'll basically get some colour and tone everywhere, and I'll go back over and give it another pass and work up the definition. So that's how I tend to find it easier to work. I know some people will sort of paint one area in great detail and go on to the next area, but I actually find it hard to judge colours and tones against just white areas of white. I find that once I've got all the colours down, it then looks a little bit different. So having some colour everywhere helps mitigate everything. And I can think of, you know, the little areas like this, I think, well, perhaps that needs a bit more contrast there, and perhaps a bit more detail here, and, you know, perhaps bring some highlights up there. So it just helps me to just sort of balance it all up. So anyway, that's the way I do it. I've basically just done a little bit of a blue background there, and as I say, thinking this blossom trees inspiration, I've brought a couple of examples in. So that was one of the so our windmill around the corner, which I did quite a few years ago. And these trees, I don't know if you noticed, they're just about to come out. So if anybody wanted to do some, you know, outdoor work, now's, you know, it wouldn't be a bad time. What I found painting blossom is I find that the easiest way is to go slightly darker first, so all these shadowy areas, and then gradually work my way up to the lighter areas. So I basically just got a bit of a background blue down, that's dried, and this is acrylic, so it's quite easy to keep building the layers. And then I really want to get these sort of darker shadows under here first. So I'll mix a dark, there's a little bit of brown and a little bit of purple, just to get a really nice dark shade. And that's all quite dense in there. So you just want to, and you know, using a reasonable size brush. I don't want a tiny little brush because it just takes forever to cover the area. And just find that it's a bit more, you know, the brushwork tends to look a bit livelier and more interesting if I can use a bigger brush for a while. So that can be something, just leave a little bit of a gap for that lighter bit there. So it'd be something like that for the darker areas. And I'm really looking for just kind of areas of dark, areas of mid-tone, and areas of light. So the mid-tone areas, probably these sort of areas, maybe just lighten that mix up a little bit. It's perhaps a bit too purpley, I'll add something a bit warmer to that. So, and if I wanted to check, you know, colours, I can always just add a bit on there and just see how close it is. It'll be right for the time being. It's just slightly lighter. And then just go a little bit lighter again. And then as I'm getting up towards the top of the tree, it's really quite light up there, so I'll leave that section and then add a bit more white to mix. I quite like these bristle brushes because it's not such a sharp mark, and I can almost just sort of drag the brush across and just catch a little bit of the texture of the wood. Some slightly lighter bits coming down there. Just over here. Trying a bit lighter again. Too much white, just to mix that in a bit more. It's not enough difference. Right. So it's this stage, I then try and get a few individual highlights, just getting the brush to catch a little bit. Or I could go to a slightly, might be time to go to a slightly smaller brush. Let's try that one. And I try and just alternate the brush marks a little bit, so I'm not, what I don't want is just like a cloned mark where I'm just doing the same mark over and over. So I try and maybe do a sideways mark, a vertical mark, a few kind of dots and dashes, and just make them a little bit random. And then the last bit is just almost like a bit of pure white here and there where the light just catches a little little bit here and there. I tend to just try and squint a little bit, screw my eyes up a little bit, and just see which bits jump out. Something a bit like that. And I could carry that, carry that through. With the bluebells, it's pretty much a similar process. Pick another couple of brushes. Very quickly, I'll just mix it a little bit of green. So you've got these, almost like these sort of bands of green that are going through. Maybe a couple of bands of green, a little bit like that. And I don't want to make them too stripy, so I'll just break them up a little bit like that. If I wanted, I could go back in at this stage and make some bits a little bit darker. There's both light and dark greens in there. Just add a little bit of darks. And I've really worked this pretty much the same with oil paint as well. This is pretty much the approach I take if I'm using my oil paints. And then for the bluebells themselves, wash that brush. Just try that. Something like ultramarine blue, which is a nice purpley blue, and just the tiniest bit of something a little bit magenta-y, sort of a nice bright pink. And then a little bit of white. So that would work quite nicely for the darker tones, perhaps a bit too dark. Just a little bit more white. And some of these work their way into the lighter areas. Or into the greens rather, not the lighter areas. So something along those lines, and then a lighter tone again. And it's the similar sort of thing to the bottom where the light catches one, two bits in there, so you get a few, just sort of a few dots and kind of dashes of a lighter tone. You could just wait for the green to dry completely if you wanted to. And then a little bit of light, almost white on its own. So that's how I tend to approach a subject like that. Okay, any questions? Yeah.
Very quickly, if you want a source of paintings, Art UK has got every picture for which public funds has been given.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So you can sort by saying Beecroft Art Gallery, second class painting, or by a particular artist.
Right, that's a good idea. So
Art
UK.
UK.
Art UK. Yeah.
Art UK.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. Okay, lovely. Right.
Have a look at your
Yep.